Hello, alright, so today we're going to have a look at a question using the binomial distribution. First thing to do is to check that our question meets the criteria for the binomial. Firstly, does it have a fixed number of opportunities, a fixed number of trials? Yes, it does, exactly 50. Does it have a fixed probability? Yeah, 0.2. Gives us this in the question. It also tells us it can be modelled by a binomial in the question. That's something of a giveaway. The other two things it needs to have are independent trials and a constant, and only two outcomes. It can either be red or not red. Those are the only things it can be. So this fully meets all the criteria for being a binomial. First thing to do then, let's describe the binomial that we're working with. Let x be the number of Christ, that's a slightly too big pen. Let x be the number of red pegs that we get. So x can be modelled as a binomial where there are 50 trials and a probability of success of 0.2. Now the first question asks us to find the probability that there are less than or equal to 15 red pegs. So that is the probability that x is less than or equal to 15. That's good because the calculator can do that for us. And I'll just bring up the calculator so that we can look through how to do that. So in this particular question, we're asked to find the probability that the value is less than or equal to 15. So we need to choose the correct distribution from the calculator. So we press menu first and then go across in the tabs or to choose number 7, distributions. Okay, that brings up a list of things that we can look at now. And on here we can see we have binomial CD. If we just go back a touch on the video here, you see that what comes up first is binomial PD. That's the probability of exactly one value. We don't want that, so you press the down arrow. To bring up a few more options. Here we now got binomial CD. Binomial CD means the probability that it's less than or equal to the given value. Okay, it's only less than or equal to that it does. This is good for us because we want less than or equal to 15. So we choose number 2 because we have the number we want. We want it to be less than or equal to 15. That's the x value. Type in 15. N is the number of trials, which is 50. And P is the probability, which is 0.2. Get there? Press equals. Calculator does all the work for you. And we have the answer, which is better if you can use the calculator than the scripty thing. 0.9692 to 4 significant figures. Okay, so we can get rid of the calculator briefly. And now we're going to move on and look at the second question, which asks us for the probability that we get exactly 10. Let's bring up the calculator. And again, we need to set the calculator into the correct mode. So we choose menu, number 7, which says distributions. And this time, from the list, we want the binomial PD, the probability density. That is the one that goes exactly with the value that we're looking at. So we want exactly 10, that's the PD. If we wanted less than 10, we'd use the CD. So here I'm going to allow it to I'm going to choose number 4. And that's going to bring up this. Now again, we know the number we want, so we'll choose number 2, the variable, which is 10. Press that. Still 50 things, 50 trials, and the probability is 0.2. Okay, so we do that, and now press equals to get the solution, which is 0.1398. 0.1398. Okay, so straightforward enough on those two things. We're going to look at the next question in a bit more detail. Let me just clear the page. In this question, we're asked to find the probability that it's more than 5 but fewer than 15 red pegs. So we're going to do that question using the CD on the calculator. Now, I'm not going to show you this one this time. I'm not going to bring it up on the screen. I'm just going to go through it word through words, and hopefully you can get the same values. If you don't, you need to let me know. Let's have a look at what we do. So I've written out numbers of possible pegs. We want to get all of the numbers which are more than 5, so more than 5, and less than 15. So that's all the way from there to there. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now we need to remember that the calculator can only do strictly less thans. So we're going to less than or equal to's. So it can only do the strictly less than or equal to's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a calculator to find the probability of less than or equal to 14, and then subtract the probability of less than or equal to 5. That will leave that gap in the middle there, the bit that we actually want. Okay, so what that would actually look like is, we're trying to find the probability that x is between 5 and 15. Okay, but we're saying that that is equal to the probability that x is less than or equal to 14 minus the probability that x is less than or equal to 5. We use the calculator to find those values. Remember to use calculator mode 7, then go through your lists and we choose the binomial CD, because this is the cumulative one, adding up all of the values less than or equal to the number we're given. And if we do the probability for less than or equal to 14, we get 0.9393 when we round it. And if we do it for x is less than or equal to 5, we get 0.0840 if we round it. And so, final answer, subtracting, is 0.8913. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Please ask me in the chat if there's anything you need.